Welcome back to Greer House Podcast. It's one of the hosts, one of the Greer brothers, Jay Greer. And today we're talking about Truth About GCU Part 2. And today I got someone new. Sly, what up?
Good with you, man?
How you doing, my man?
Good.
So first off, let them know who you are, my boy.
My name is Evan Findley, upcoming senior at GCU, Grand Canyon University. Go Lopes.
Hey.
Yep. I'm a life leader on campus.
Okay.
Yep. Been here I'm 30. It's my third year, but we graduating early. That's what.
Yes, sir.
So we do.
Third year gang. Yes, sir.
So it's been a good experience. GCU's been really good for me, but I've learned a lot in my time.
For sure. The 3 years.
Yeah, it's short 3 years.
Yeah.
Not like this guy over here, but, but I've learned a lot in my time. So, I feel like I got some unique experiences to share that, could be helpful for people like freshmen coming in or like transfers, wherever it may be. So I feel like I've experienced a lot, gone through a lot, learned a lot of things, but GCU's been great for me. So.
For sure.
Yeah.
So now you're here to share and tell the people what's up.
Hopefully, man.
This will be pretty exciting. So pretty much off rip.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people watching, they might have heard our last one or they might have not.
Right.
But I feel like one thing about GCU that's just like the most important is the people. I feel like GCU runs off the people. Is that like fair to say? Would you say?
Yeah, honestly, I would say that. I think that draws a lot of people in. I know for me, coming off COVID, that was a thing that was like really big because they pressed in on that. Like, we're a big community of people here. I don't know about you or everybody else, but that was what they, like my Discover trip.
Yeah, the Discover
kept pressing in.
Yeah.
We're a big community of people, we love each other. And I mean, coming out of COVID, bro, that's attractive because you're like, you have friends and same people, right? So that was really stuck out to me. But I mean, I've been that disappointed. I think they've been true to their word on that.
Definitely. I feel like GCU has done a good job with like staying true, but also like the actual people that you encounter at GCU are like really making that like real. You know what I'm saying? Like, a school, like an institution can say all the time, like, hey, like, man, we got community.
Right.
But if you go and the people are not actively like engaging in the community and like making connections and different stuff like that, then it's not true. But I say at GCU, like, people are actually like what they talk about, and they're actually like making a big community of people and like, just being nice, being inviting. That's a good word for sure.
I think one thing the school is kind of known for, like internally, just extroverts. That's kind of the
straight up
term you use a lot. People say, all right, everyone's this extrovert at GCU. People are really outgoing, which, we talked about. Sometimes it can be a little weird at times, but for the most part, people are pretty outgoing. They're willing to have conversations, which is, I think it's a pretty unique thing because, a lot of schools,
it's quiet.
It's pretty quiet, bro.
Quiet in the booth.
You're not going to see that. Yeah. So as much, even just like my conversation with friends, it's definitely unique. So
definitely.
That has its pros and its cons. Yeah.
Definitely. And I feel like the thing with GCU as well is that sometimes like you have days where like you meet 2 new people, 3 new people, you know what I'm saying? Other days you might not like meet anybody, but people are still smiling. People still have like good vibes. I feel like that's what's making GCU like
2 or 3, bro. I feel like welcome week.
Welcome week is like,
bro, like freshman. Oh my gosh, I've got to the point. How people say they're like, I forget people's names. First of all, everyone always says I'm so bad with names. That's not everybody's like that. Like, of course, if you're meeting 100 people a day,
yes, welcome.
You're not gonna remember everybody, but I feel like it kind of I got to a point where I was forgetting people's faces, bro.
I was that guy.
Yeah, I was like, bro, honestly, and not even like in a disrespectful way. No. Like, generally, like, you're thinking about
they start to blur out, bro. There's too many people. So, but that's also like a good thing, you know what I'm saying? It's a bad thing because like you're forgetting people kind of foul, but it's also like they're doing it too. They probably don't really remember you like that. Yeah. So, it's gonna have its little like give or take on that.
Yeah, you gotta hit him with the, hey, how you doing, bro? How you doing?
Yeah, my dog.
Yo, my boy.
Yeah. Literally, after the next event, they're welcoming, bro. You right?
Yeah. We bet.
Yeah, sure. No, definitely. I bet we probably done that when we first
a couple times.
Yeah,
my guy Jay.
I
be.
Yeah, definitely. They be hitting me with that. They be hitting him with that.
Yeah, bro.
No, we all look the same, I guess. Whatever. Let's not talk about that though. But I feel like, kind of speaking about that though, like that. I don't want to speak on racism or anything like that, but like there are some cons to like the people at GCU. This is not like to bash or nothing like that. Like this whole video is honestly just to like tell people about like the good and just like our personal experiences. Right. Not anything like, oh man, like GCU is the worst place in the world. No, this is not that. This is like someone's viewing is maybe a incoming freshman, like you're saying, right. Transfer, blah, blah, blah. We're just telling you our experiences. Hopefully you enjoy them, and hopefully we see you on campus, welcome week, wherever that may be, in the life group, wherever that may be. But anyway, like with the people, I feel like, man, bro, sometimes it's like too much, bro. And maybe because I'm super like introverted, extroverted, I feel like I'm in that like mix. But like, bro, sometimes I'm like, dog, y'all doing way too much, and that kind of like ruins the whole people aspect.
Yeah, I think honestly, on that point, you kind of talked about it last time, but bro, to me, I think it's immaturity.
Yeah,
that's kind of one thing that gets on my nerves. Like, not even to bash people specifically, but genuinely, like on the personal perspective. Yeah. Sometimes like I feel like I'm forcing myself to be around others because I'm like, you know, whether in the same circles or it may be. Yeah. But like, bro, sometimes like from people not even knowing how to act in social settings and public settings, right? Yeah. It's like talking about other people. I'm just like, yeah, what is this, middle school? Like we gotta be better than that.
Especially because we're older now. Like I feel like once you step onto a college campus,
you should know better, bro.
You should know better. That's a good way to put it. So I feel like that's one of the things that like I'm working on every day. But it's like, bro, we got to do better. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Bro, you 19, 20, maybe you're a freshman, you 18, whatever. There's some things like you just gotta let go. You know what I'm saying? I remember like specifically like we had Bible study together, and one of the homies was like about to say something like about someone else, like gossip, right? Mm-hmm. And they caught themselves like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. And you were all hype. I remember that. Yeah. I was like, bro, you know what? Like seeing Evan get hype about that makes me hype because like it's those little things like that that show the good aspect of people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Where people are starting to realize their faults and just falling short, right? It's stuff like that that like, okay, bet that's what makes people at GCU so good. You know right. what I'm saying? Because all of us have our downfalls, but it's like, bro, when you see like maturity increase, when you see someone like bossing up, we all hype for it, you know? Yeah. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing about the people at GCU, I would say.
No, I agree.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, on top of that, just one last thing to add, honestly, like the theme I think I'll keep going back to is GCU is great and I've enjoyed my time, but it's a school that is, I mean, from a community aspect, not living up to potential, bro. Not living up to the potential that's there. I think as a Christian school, I think GCU as a Christian school does better than some other Christian schools in America. Because, I mean, some other Christian schools is literally just for the title, obviously. GCU at least attempts to provide those opportunities, has some level of Christian community, gets people engaging in churches, chapel, etc. Not perfect.
And like the ministries, bro. The ministries, like this last year, like as a sophomore, junior, whatever, I'm like a third year too. But like this last year, I'm like going to these ministries. I'm like, dog, this is like legit. You know what I'm saying? I was pretty hyped. Like I was enjoying myself. I got to just play with kids, got to be in a message for them, like stuff like that. There's so many different ministries that you can get involved in where it's like, bro, this is not just a Christian school for the title. This is a Christian school that's doing their best and allowing students to get involved and push themselves to go out and do ministry.
Right. But just imagine, bro, like I always have this thought, like imagine if we as a Christian community, no one's obviously perfect, but just leveled up one step, bro, to just really say like whether it's the gossip, right? Or it's the way we carry ourselves in public, the way we talk to people, the way we give our time, the way we serve. Imagine we really like stepped out and did that.
Just one more little
step, bro. Like really just emphasize like laying our lives down. Luke 9:23, you know. Shameless plug. But laying our lives down for the sake of the Lord, right? And just like suppressing some of the things, our own desires. If we just gave that up, bro, to like literally just be ambassadors of Christ further, just take the extra step of sacrifice, bro. Like that would be, I don't know, bro, the testimony that would be as like I know the whole school's not Christian, but I mean, even the community that exists within the school that is Christian, that would just be huge, bro.
But sometimes it just takes like following the lead, right? Like you said, not everybody at GCU is Christian. Yeah, it's okay, right? But maybe the steps we take and the different, you know, life that we put into other people, people start seeing that and they want to, okay, I want to be a part of that. Okay, I like what y'all doing. okay, this Jesus thing is kind of cool. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It starts like that. And so here in like little step, I encourage whoever's watching, maybe you already go to GCU, maybe you're transfer, maybe you're a new student, you know, when you step on campus, take the extra step, you know what I'm saying? Take the stairs instead of the elevator.
Yeah, that's
simple.
Like that. Get on that t-shirt, man.
Yeah, next my Christmas piece for real.
Not for real, though. Yeah.
No, that's valid. And I feel like there's like 3 big things at GCU. I feel like first, we talked about people. Second, I feel like it'd be like intentionality.
Right.
And like on the last podcast, me personally, like, I don't want to use the word hate. I'll just say, like, I really don't like that word because from my perspective, I only kind of got like a bad kind of view on it. But maybe like you can bring some light, or maybe you feel the same way. So like when you hear intentionality, or the times you've experienced the word intentionality, what has that like look like for you?
Man, I feel like the word intentionality has gone on a roller coaster of its own on campus. It's kind of crazy to see how it's gone.
Sure.
But I think it really just depends on what you mean, because like you guys talk about, I think sometimes people throw around the word intentionality and what aren't literally intentional at all.
No.
But I mean, if you're going to follow the dictionary definition, be intentional. I'm all for it. But it's just really a matter of, do you really know what you're saying when you say that? And in terms of, are you living it out? Like, are you being intentional to the point that Jesus was intentional by giving up his life for our sake? Doesn't get more intentional than that. That's our obligation as believers. And so it's further than just asking someone about, whatever story in their life or whatever than that.
Really.
That's more intentionality. Intentionality is like, bro, giving up your Saturday morning to go serve somebody else, go help a person at your church move, giving up your time to, like go help a friend that needs something, or go serve some homeless people. Like, that's a lot. That's bigger.
Definitely.
See, I think sometimes we just get stuck in the social idea of it, but
and just yourself.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying,
but I think it's a lot bigger than that.
It is, and that kind of leads back to taking the extra step.
Yeah.
So like all these things is really taking the extra step.
Yeah.
And I feel like me, you, whatever that may look like all of us can work on it and be better.
Yeah.
But like, if we lead by example, if one of us start, then we can start a little chain. We can all do better.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a good take. I feel like last time, like maybe me personally, I won't speak on Josh or anything, but like I kind of like bashed the word in like the last episode, but just because of my personal experiences where it was like somebody kind of like forcing conversation or asking me something way too personal. And it's like my first time like in an interaction with it.
Yeah.
So like for me, that like kind of put a bad taste in my mouth is probably the best way to put it. But like, I feel like this last year, bro, like the people that I actually got to know, I feel like it was so much better. And so like this year, I feel like the word intentional and intentionality has really kind of gotten like a good taste in my mouth, because it's like, bro, this year or like last year, like dog, people actually like, yo, we're going to do this. And then we actually do it. I was hyped about that. This year, I was actually like linking up with people when I said like, I'll link up with them like to the best of my ability. So like to me, I was pretty like hyped. You know what I'm saying? Sure, I could always do better, but like just the little steps that I'm like taking to do better. Now this third year, I got to challenge myself, and just like you, challenge yourself to do even better than last year. You know what I'm saying? Because of course there was faults on me, of course there was faults on other people, but now I'm making the word intentionality a lot better, just like for myself.
Yeah, bro, you touched on it a bit, but honestly, I think one of my biggest pet peeves, not even GCU thing, but just, Christians in general, I think, not even to generalize, but I think we don't really do a great job at like really just living up to our word, just being a man or woman of our word.
For sure. Like
that's something that really got me, especially bro, ministry leaders, like that kind of frustrates me.
Definitely.
Because that's important, bro.
Definitely.
Especially if you're a leader in a community. So I made a very conscious attempt, like even especially starting last year. I was like, if I say I'm going to do something, so I guess that's a part of intentionality, but I'm going to follow through. I'd rather just straight up say, nah, like I can't. I do that a couple of times.
For sure.
Being like, no, like I'm not going to have time, or I just can't.
That's valid.
Rather than being like, oh, let's do it, bro, and then just never do anything.
Definitely.
So I'm not perfect, but I think that's a big part of intentionality as well, just being a man or woman of your word.
Definitely.
Living up to your promises.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
So like, kind of like to put the light on me and nobody, like not talk about anybody else. Like, bro, last year that was my thing. Like, I need to actually do better. And there were still some times where I'd be like, yeah, I would do it and not put in the effort to actually do it. There were some times where I would do it and actually put in the effort. So like this third year, I'm going to get on it to the best of my ability and make a conscious like decision.
And next step, man.
Exactly. See, it starts like this, you know what I'm saying? Having some self-reflection,
Yeah.
and you take the next step. Hopefully, if people see like, you know what, Jaden this year is actually linking up with me or doing this and this, right? Hopefully, then it kind of goes on to the next person, the next person. So it starts with me, and it can also start with you too.
Hey, that's all sanctification is, right? Taking the next step. We're in this process together. We're growing together. You know, we're not hating on each other. We're trying to grow. We're going closer to God. That's part of the process. Man.
Definitely. No, that's good. That's good for sure. Dang, bro. So we've hit people. We've hit intentionality. I feel like even in people, we've kind of talked about community, but you'll come to GCU and everybody says like community.
Yeah.
So like we touched about it a little bit. Do you have anything else to say about the word community at GCU?
I can kind of circle back to the point I made, just touch on a little more. I think once again, we just don't live up to the potential.
For sure.
As a school or Christian body, however you want to take it, at GCU, live to the potential that's there. I mean, I've had conversations with some like close friends of mine, even recently up until like yesterday, with friends like about like even the standard that we have before us. So we know our standard as believers, like we call it holiness.
For sure.
Like you said, like we live a certain way, other people are attracted to that. But I think a big part of it is actually like, I'll just say this, nothing is more satisfying to me than the church acting like the church. Like truly acting like the church, right?
As far.
Right. There is nothing more satisfying as a believer. I don't know if an unbeliever listening, but when you become a believer and you really see it like functioning
for sure
in the way it's supposed to, like people who are like, my favorite friendships don't want people to say like, hey, but like we probably shouldn't do that, or like, yo, like let's go and serve. Let's go and let's do something.
Yeah,
let's
find something better to do.
Right? Yeah, like let's really take some steps to grow. Like those are the kind of like friendships or relationships that are biblically, you get the thumbs up, bro. For those, literally, bro. But I kind of think we kind of lack that sometimes because sometimes I feel like maybe assimilate a little too much into like American teenage culture, like
the trends.
We like to, still I'm a Christian, but I steal a couple signs. I'm a Christian, but I do like I go out and listen to the dude. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
it's like the little things, which is
just like the little things where we kind of seep into the culture a bit, where we don't remember that, bro. We're literally ambassadors of the living God on this earth.
For sure.
I don't know, that to me that trumps some American culture ideologies and we kind of hold to sometimes. So
hey, this man's spitting, bro. Y'all better get on this level.
For sure.
So dang, bro. No, that was all really good, bro. Kind of blew my mind. But I feel like what's really important for community at GCU kind of starts with what you believe, but for the Christians out there, I mean, we've been talking a lot of, Christ talk, whatever you want to talk or whatever you want to call it, but I feel like it really starts at like church, right? You know what I'm saying? So community, people, intentionality, it all kind of leads into the church because, if our church is full-fledged, we are like an image of that,
Right.
And the church is full-fledged, that means they're looking as perfect as they can of Christ. If the church is looking good like Christ, we can look good like Christ because we're getting fed by a church that's looking like Christ.
Yeah.
So I feel like for these new students or whoever it may be, whoever's watching, I feel like find a church, you know what I'm saying? You have a few weeks of just like church hopping. and I urge you, out of my personal experience, and I'm not here to bash nobody, but I feel like a lot of people at GCU kind of go to the church that everybody else goes to, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like for me, I'm like, bro, you can do that for a little bit, maybe you don't got a car, maybe that's the only way you can get to church, and being fed is being fed. But after a while, gotta boss up, take the extra step to get fed. Like if you go to that church service every time and on the car ride home, you're in your head talking about, dang, that really wasn't it. I'm not agreeing with that, or I'm not getting fed. Bro, you got to make this step. You don't got to please your friend, you know what I'm saying? You don't got to please the world, but you got to please the one and true God, you know what I'm saying? You got to get right with him. If you can't get right with that church, then get right with another church, you know what I'm saying? So
that's invention. Why are you doing that anyways? Like, you bashing a church saying this. That was one thing. I tell this to my life group sometimes. I'm like, in what world should you ever, should the sentence, I really like to worship, ever come out of your mouth? In what world? Since when was worship for you? What was ever for you? Why is it wonder that concept? I don't know. We got that consumer mindset. I don't know what it is. But worship's not for us, is it?
This ain't no For You page. This ain't no For You page.
Not a For You page. But I'm just like, that was I kept telling them, like, we're going to get that mindset out.
For sure.
So, like, first of all, why you bashing the church? But two, when you touched on it a bit, some people stay in that church hopping phase, bro, for years. I'm like,
it's time to settle down.
Yeah, it's time to settle down. I think that's one thing that I've kind of hinted at to a couple people sometimes. Kind of be like, hey, like, you've been being a part of church community is essential to Christian living. Like, a firm church community is huge. So it's like, so my example, I go to my church is Pella Communities, St. Glendale. But there's components of my church, like, I love my church, but there's components where I'm like, oh, I wish this was better. Oh, I don't kind of like, this is kind of annoying. I don't like this, blah, blah, blah. But I've heard people who had that similar story with a different church and would use that as a reason to leave.
Ooh.
To be like, oh, I don't like this. Next, oh, worship not loud enough. Next,
that For You page mentality.
Listening to the sermon was too long. Next, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And so it's kind of like, you got to get into the mindset of recognizing that you need to be the change you want to see. You got to be the change you want to see. I'm a big proponent of that. And so you're living to be a part of the church community. The church doesn't exist for you. You're supposed to exist within the church. We're supposed to exist within the church.
Wow.
So the problems you see, you're supposed to enter into those things and say, hey, we're going to make this better.
Exactly.
I don't know, man.
No, definitely. Yeah. No, that's good. And I was literally going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I go to Pure Heart. There's 2 different campuses. Go check out either. There's a Peoria and a Glendale. I go to Peoria. And this March, actually, Pastor Pat, shout out Pastor Pat, he was like, sometimes we hear people saying, oh, children's ministry is bad. Sometimes we hear the greeters are bad, right? And he was like, for all those people who's ever said that, the people in the pews right now, why don't you be the change, right? If you said there's only one greeter, well, why don't you be the second greeter, right? So he was like kind of challenging the church. I really like that, right? So he was like, you know what? If you need to leave because you don't like what I say, that's all right. But if you leaving because there's something missing that you could be that puzzle piece, then why aren't you the puzzle piece? Why aren't you inserting yourself into this puzzle, right? So I really thought that was amazing. And I feel like I'm challenging you, the consumer, the viewer right now, be the puzzle piece this next year. Simple. No, that's good though. That's good. So, I mean, we got Pella, we got Pure Heart. No conflict. No, I don't know how to say that, but we're going to stick with those 2. Come check out those 2.
Yeah, bro.
Sure.
So, yeah.
You'll see me. You'll see Evan. You'll see my brother.
And bro, there's so many good churches in there. Like, I think I'm a firm believer, like, if no church is perfect, obviously, but like, if you get involved, like, it's going to work out.
Low key, too, when you get involved, you can either see the church in like a really good light, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, once you're plugged in, you're like, dang, this is cool.
Right.
So now I want to go to church versus like drag yourself out of bed, you know what I'm saying? Like the freshmen, they be doing that. Oh, you got to go to church. Oh, but now you plugged in, now you excited. You gotta turn the smile on,
Yeah.
So
don't let it become an event either, bro.
Exactly.
That's brutal. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I'll be feeling like that. Like, I see that sometimes, and it worries me because that's just not what church is meant to be.
Exactly.
If you feel that way, you probably either need some self-reflection or your church is not healthy. So one of those 2 things need to take place. Both of them are not ideal. So,
wow. Dark tool. So all those different things, bro. We've talked about it all. We covered all of GCU, but now it's kind of a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit different because, like, you're a special face or you're a new face on the podcast. And so it's like, they want to hear you, bro. They want to hear your truth. So tell them your truth about GCU.
I mean, my truth about GCU, I guess, can be summarized in it's a great school. I think in terms of community, if you're a Christian and believe you're looking to get plugged in that way, it's a great opportunity there. Not perfect by any means, but no school is. But I'll constantly go back to that theme. You know, you got to live to that potential that's there. We got 20,000 students in there. Who knows how many like genuine believers in there? I think that could change the world right there
for sure.
So living up potential, living up to our calling. I think that's my saying, bro. That's what I got to say about GCU.
Take that extra step.
Yeah, it takes that extra step, man. That's all it is.
Man, hey, that's really good. And bro, I appreciate you for being here. Thanks for talking your stuff. I feel like you left them with some fire, bro.
Hope so, man.
Hey, hopefully you take everything that we said on this podcast today and you resonates within you, and you know, do a little something with it. And hey, we're excited to see you. We'll be around.
Hey, hot take. Peter Jungle, best restaurant on campus. Go try it out, man. I'll tell y'all right now.
That's a good take.
I couldn't leave without throwing that one in there.
Hey, no disagreement.
No disagreement?
No disagreement. It's good, bro. It's good. It's up there.
Chipotle chicken piece.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's fine.
Try it.
Yeah. Go try it out. We'll see you in the fall. So, hey, we love you and God bless you. And we out of here.
Yes, sir.
Peace.